Hey, Fuzzy here! Some obscure heavy metal part 2, but first let me tell you what's playing in the background. The new third album of the Italian band REVERBER, entitled Sect of Faceless from 2020. Fantastic thrash metal for those who are looking forward to the new Creator album. Go ahead and listen to it. The album ends with a nice version track of Angel Witch by the British band Angel Witch. This album was released by the well-known Italian label Punishment 18 Records. Check it. Okay, let's start with the records. At first, Risk, German speed, thrash, metal and Ratman EP from 1989, which was released right after full-length Hell's Animals from the same year, released by Steamhammer. Risk, Ratman. Before this band started operating under the name Risk, operated until 1986 as Fightful Breath, and here is the fifth album of Fightful Breath, Golden Glory from 1984, originally released by Mausoleum Records. Here is the Polish edition of Pronit from 1984, Fightful Breath. Now two EPs by Hellion, American speed metal, heavy speed metal band with charismatic Anne Boleyn on vocals, self-titled EP from 1983, English edition of Music for Nations, 6 tracks, and Postcards from the Asylum from 1988, also an English edition, Music for Nations, 4 tracks including a cover of Judas Priest, Exciter, Music for Nations. Hellion, still female vocals in heavy metal. First Warlock album entitled Burning the Witches from 1984 with the amazing Doro Pesch. The OG Belgian edition of Mausoleum Records. Another EP. American power thrash metal band Powermat and their second mini album in the discography, The Madness Begins, Reprise Records, 1988, European edition, including a cover of Ramones, Powermat. And now, European edition of the third Visual Lies album by LIZZY Borden, Metal Blade Records, 1987, comes with inner lyric and photo sleeve, manufactured in the Netherlands, American heavy metal band from LA, LIZZY Borden. Another German heavy metal band, Victory, with their second full-length album Don't Get Mad, Get Even, OG European edition of Metronome. From 1986, Fritz Randolph and Herman Frank are on this album, and Charlie Huhn, who later sang, among others, on the first album of Axel Rudi Pell, Victory. time for French heavy metal record. The band VULCAIN, called the French Motorhead. First album, Rock and Roll Secours from 1984. Original French edition of Devil Records. Great record with French lyrics. VULCAIN. And now heavy metal band from Sweden. 220 volt with their third album, Mind Over Muscle, originally released by CBS in 1985. Here is the Polish edition of Tone Press from 1986. Pleasant heavy metal in the spirit of new wave of British heavy metal. 220 volt. And finally, Polish heavy thrash metal band Turbo, the fourth album, Ostatni Wojownik, which means the last warrior. The original Polish edition of Pronit from 1987 with Polish lyrics in 1988. An English version of the album was released by Noise International with a different cover, Turbo, Ostatni Wojownik. Now few CDs. At the first, EXUMER, German thrash metal masters, their second album, Rising from the Sea, original released by Disaster in 1987, and here the American version of End of the Light, reissue, remastered in Digipack from 2012. Phenomenal record, phenomenal album, which I love. Another German band, Heavy Speed TYRANT. Here is their 1984 Mean Machine debut, German, re-released by Aurophone in 1990 as a part of the label's Brainstorm series. Before that, there was French Motorhead, now Russian Iron Maiden ARIA, a heavy metal band from Moscow. Here is the fifth studio album, Krov, which means Blood for Blood, from 1991, Russian, re-released by Moros Records. ARIA. And finally, two Belgian bands, SCAVENGER and WARHEAD. Heavy metal SCAVENGER recorded the only full-length album, Battlefields, in 1985, while heavy speed metal WARHEAD has two albums. This is the debut of Speedway from 1984. Here is the Mausoleum Classics releases. I love listening to these albums, but unfortunately these are unofficial releases, just plain rock bootlegs. So much for me today. Thanks for watching it. If you find something interesting, feel free to write in the comments. See you next time. Cheers!